Hello everyone, this is my great honor to share my opinions about this book and from chapter 24, Audiences as Producers. First, I will introduce the theory of audience as producers. It is this idea that audiences are no longer passive recipients but are now the producers of media material which the reading in this chapter explores. Media theory in context will be three parts. The first one, look at the production. The second one, text. The last one, audiences. For example, the YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, or MySpace. One of the key critical media studies has repeatedly offered is that the culture industries transition to develop new media. Internet election, Obama referred to as the first president, the change of traditional media, the ability of new media to cross national boundaries. New media will be two-part. The first one, political, the second one, sociality. While the internet is often referred to as free, it actually requires technologies which are not financially within the reach of everyone on the planet, meaning that it is often those from the most disparate areas who fail to have access to those forms of media. It is argued will help them better their lives. Here comes the second part, book reading and journal writing. Everyone is a media outlet. In the blurb on the frontispiece of the book, Ch24's aim is outlined as to describe the intersection of social tools and social life. Here comes everyone, how change happens when people come together. Ch24 aims to reach business people, legislators and the general public, and so communicates in a manner appropriate to the multiple audiences he is aiming for. Fundamental changes in the information ecosystem will be three parts from Ch24's opinion. The first one, there are two strategies in America today. The first is that there are lots of small, diversified sources of revenue like taxes, BBIs. The second one, the others, is to say directly at any given time. Perhaps 2% of users think the Times should be continued to exist and national radio should be continued to exist. And the last one will be, there's the third kind, which is government-sponsored media. The context people have always debated media change and have always been worried about how newer forms for media might affect existing ones. The content will be doubling down. In a sense, the things that affect us the most might be ones we can't predict, and things we spend our time worrying about are instead of little threat at all. And I have a question. The so-called since the limits of traditional media and professional media has disappeared? Now I will show you the answers. My little opinions. Now, the boundaries of traditional media and new media has disappeared. Many journalists, bloggers in the beginning, many bloggers from a reporter, some more both at the same time. This change means that when you look at the media landscape, it's a lot of different than it was in the 1990s or even 10 years ago. And it's hard to distinguish between professionals and arenas. Let's look at this data. Technological environments. is from the active force from media industry's business model, and the value is professional judgment. The well-being is the film production, and the internet is the key point, commercial viability and consumer. And we also have two basic organization imperatives. The first one, acquire resources and use them to pursue some goal or agenda. The second one, settle everyone organization with the institutional dilemma, whether its goal is saving souls or selling soap. Please look at the picture, and when you look at we media from a creative and positive perspective, you attract users with interesting things first, and then gradually improve the content quality. This is a common pattern in the United States. And the reporting object or the editorialing high subject. Debates about ways in which news is reported and editorialized persist in discussions about journalism and media regulation. And newspapers, once the most timely medium and the most important in publishing, are things of the past. It is becoming increasingly clear that newspapers are the medium in which the internet is most likely to beat, because the internet still has its adventures when it comes to I can't read what I want whenever I want, and the more I can read about a subject that interests me, the better. Here comes the third part, modeling. Instead of relying on large-scale projects, start small and succeed. Scale up gradually with effective operation and success. And the first one, we are not consuming media, we are using media. The second one, intrinsic motivation makes the act itself a reward. The third one, we create opportunities for us. The fourth, personal sharing, community sharing, public sharing, civic sharing. Finally, I will give you my conclusion. Motorization is a result of the radical spread of expression capabilities, and the most obvious precedent is the one that gave birth to the modern world. The spread of printing press 5 centuries ago, the new media allowed for the explosion of it's too hard to say, a motorization, and that access whether society now has to public evidences is necessarily a progressive move. And that's my presentation. Thank you for listening, and don't go. We also have a video from YouTube. I will give some minutes to watch it online.